Hi, so we made it. We're here in Japan. Just wanted to walk you through our traveling. It was exhausting. The kids hated it. Kyle and I hated it, but we made it, and that's all that matters. So we started the journey on a Wednesday, Knoxville time, and then we made it here Saturday, Iwakuni time. So 3 days of traveling. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 days of traveling. So Wednesday we got up and we went to the airport, got there around 10-ish. Oh, he pooped. Good job, Barnaby. Come on, inside. Okay, we're just saying goodbye to Barnaby. He is unfortunately not coming with us right now. We're gonna get him to us in a few months, hopefully. But he wasn't able to come with us this first trip.
This Bumby.
It's just Barnaby.
This Bumby.
Yeah. Are you excited for Japan?
Yes.
Yes. Are you ready to get on an airplane?
Yes.
Yes.
I pull them under.
Yeah, don't pull on your lip. Boo-boo. Yeah. Just take it's making a video. Woo! Boarded our first flight at 11, and it wasn't bad. It was just over an hour. Easy peasy. Phoebe was very excited. She loved the whole thing. Did you see out the window? What did you see? They were awake for the entire thing until the last 20 minutes of the flight, when Mommy would have hated this part. We were literally just doing this the entire time. The turbulence was crazy. So we landed in Chicago around 12:50, so 11:50 Chicago time. Lots of time zone things that we flipped through. So we had to board at like 1:15 for our next flight to Seattle. So we ran through the airport practically, grabbed McDonald's, ate it at the gate. Kyle didn't even get to finish his burger, which is very sad. And then we got on the next plane, and this one was almost 5 hours. This was the flight that we were split up. So the first flight, it was me and Sullivan, and then Phoebe over here, and Kyle was in front of Phoebe. But then this flight, it was 3 seats and then 3 seats. So me and Sullivan were in, long story. So when we got there, we had this fancy little cart thing that Sullivan would sit in, that we put his car seat strapped into, and then he would sit in it and we'd wheel him around. And we bought it under the impression that you could wheel it on to the plane and it would fit through the aisles. It does not fit through the aisles. That made it just a little more difficult because we had to carry the kids and both car seats onto the planes. But anywho, so I had Sullivan in my arms and I was pushing this cart, and I realized, man, this is not gonna go through this little pathway on the airplane. And so the flight attendants that were standing right there when you board the airplane, they were like, we can't touch it, we can't hold your son for you, we can't pick up your car seat, you know, insurance policy and whatever. So I had to squeeze in this little corner of a hole with these 2 flight attendants with Sullivan in the car seat, and we had to sit and wait on people to load and for Kyle and Phoebe to go get in their seat. And then they made everybody stop loading the plane so Kyle could come back through the aisle. And then he came and got the car seat and carried it back. So if you're traveling with a car seat, you have to have a window seat. The car seat has to go at the window seat for whatever reason. So our original tickets, me and Sullivan, we didn't have the window seat. Sullivan and I had to move. They gave us new tickets at the very, very back, which was kind of cool and nice because we had the entire row. This was probably, other than the last flight, this was probably the worst because Sullivan napped for the first maybe hour. And then he was awake. And he was just awake. Got to Seattle. Yep. Yeah, look, why don't you go help Daddy? What does that mean? And we're looking for what?
Here in 15-20 minutes. We just got.
Do you know which one we need to get on?
I told them where we are.
And we were like, oh my gosh, we're doing it. We're halfway done. Wednesday, traveling done. We got to the hotel. Oh, you found a mirror? Go ahead and take your shoes off, Fifi. It's a mirror, Bubba's. Ooh. Okay, we made it to Seattle. And Sullivan just put the iPad in the trash can. Good job, little man. Yeah, we do need to brush your teeth. Right now, we're just repacking everything, getting more replenishing diapers and snacks for tomorrow. You have to wake up at like 2:30 or something ridiculous, so. Anywho. You know, went to sleep, we woke up, we got ready, we packed, and we were like, man, we're killing it, let's go do it. We stood in line for the flight, for the check-in. We had to do a health screening and everything in that line, so.
Bubba.
Guess what? Chocolate. Sitting and sitting. Hello.
Hello.
Made it through the line, and Kyle noticed on our little boarding pass that it said the boarding time was like 12:45. They weren't supposed to take off until like 2:11 or something like that. We went through security, we got to our gate, and this is where the waiting happened. This was probably the worst part of of all of it. This wasn't fun. We were like, okay, we just gotta make it to 12:50 and then we'll like, you know, get on an airplane and head out. But 12 o'clock came around and then all of a sudden we checked the little billboard with all the flight information and it switched. And we were now not leaving until 4:11. It was aggravating because the kids had woken up at 3. So we were like, okay, this is awesome. The kids are gonna be exhausted. We're just gonna get there, get on a plane, and they're gonna sleep. Because you know, this was a 10-hour flight. Let's just have them sleep the entire time and then easy peasy, you know? They kept sleeping in the airport. At this point, we started waking Sullivan up from his nap.
Baby, don't put your hands in his mouth.
We go, oh. They want ice.
Hi. Oh. Save your exhaustion for the flight. Kyle checked on his watch and we had walked over 3 miles that day because we would just put the kids in their car seats in the wagon and the little trolley thing, and we would just walk where the gates were.
Follow Daddy.
We heard conversations of people being like, you know, if the plane's not here in an hour, we're probably not gonna leave, because the airplane was gone. So we watched it pull up because they had just arrived from Japan, and then we watched it go away, and then we were like, where'd it go? I don't know. Hopefully it'll come back soon. Anywho, long story short, the plane did not arrive on time. And so the time switched again on the little board, and it said 6 a.m. on Friday morning. So the rough part, where Kyle and I were trying to figure out, what do we do? Where do we go? How do we get there? What do we do when we get there? Lots of thoughts running through our mind.
What are we doing, guys?
Got another hotel room, the same hotel. So we went back to the hotel and we were like, okay.
Joke's on you guys. We are not at the airport on an airplane.
Bless you. We are back at the hotel. Bubs, what happened?
See, our flight got moved.
Oh, and that's how he feels about it. Anywho, new flight is at 6 in the morning, so we have to be there at 1. So we had to do the health screening all over again. We had to check our luggage all over again. They had to weigh everything all over again. So, but this time we knew what we were doing.
It's like a bar.
Don't help me, Mom.
Okay, I won't help. You do it all by yourself. Whoa, you're so strong.
Oh,
We went through security. We went back to our gate. Oh, no, we didn't go back to our gate. So you had to take a subway from the main little airport all the way to where our gate was, which was an entire different building. Our subway broke. And it wasn't gonna open up until 4 a.m. and it was like 2:45-ish. So we went and got breakfast. Then we sat and chilled. We boarded around 6-ish, I think. And then we took off around 6:37. So still not on time. But we took off, and that's the important part. The part I was dreading the most, the 10-hour flight, was the easiest part of it all. The kids slept. Sullivan slept for the first 4 hours, and it was amazing. And then he was awake for 2, and he was, you know, looking out the window and playing with toys and playing with Phoebe and doing stuff. And then again, he slept for the last like 3 hours, and it was like amazing. Phoebe did okay. She again didn't feel great, so she didn't, you know, feel great. But the flight was great. I don't have a lot of footage from it because the kids were tired, they were asleep. So landed in, I don't know what it's called.
Wow, yeah, we can definitely see
off so they could refuel the plane. So we got off for like an hour and a half. And that wasn't super fun just because the kids, you could tell were over it. They were just done. So we did that. And then we got back on the plane for like literally, it was maybe an hour. And it was like the worst flight ever because Sullivan just screamed the entire time. So we landed, we got all of our luggage, we got in our house, and quarantine began. So, but we made it. Peace out.
Japanese grass. Wow.